we had the word dialect and the study of dialect, dialectology. The word dialect is made of dia plus lect. A dialect is a regional or social variety of language with its own distinctive features in terms of lexical items, grammatical features, and pronunciation or accent. So a dialect basically is maybe the umbrella term in the sense that a dialect could be defined regionally, which is typically what a dialect is, but maybe socially. I would rather be more specific. So some people even use like regional dialect. But dialect is not the only word used in linguistics that contains the morpheme lect. There are other words that are sociolinguistic terms which contain the word lect. I can introduce another term which is an idiolect. So what is an idiolect? It's not a dialect spoken by an idiot. That's not what I mean. Sometimes people use the word idiocracy. It means when the politicians are idiots, this idio comes from idiot. But when I say idiolect, it has nothing to do with idiot. So now you might ask, okay, what does it exactly mean? Like, what is an idiolect? Well, an idiolect, idio, here you can interpret it as individual. So an idiolect is the way a particular individual speaks as distinct from other individuals. So it means the person is speaking the same language, but everybody has their own personal way of doing things and speaking. The technical definition in Crystal's dictionary is this: a term used in linguistics to refer to the linguistic system of an individual speaker. So it means if you look at variation in language, you would see that there's variation even at the individual level. So you could say every individual has his own or her own linguistic system, which is distinct from other individuals. This is actually very interesting and exciting, but it's also significant in the sense that as a linguist, if you have different, for example, different recordings or different texts, if you analyze them, you can find individual patterns in the speech of an individual, and this could be very critical for a field like forensic linguistics. An idiolect consists of two morphemes, idio and the morpheme lect. So what does lect mean? The word lect means speak. Indo-European, leg. Other words related to the morpheme lect in English are lectern, lecture, legend, legible, lesson, collect, select, legal, legitimate, legacy, privilege, and colleague, delegate. But in sociolinguistics, the word lect has a particular meaning as a morpheme, and it appears in words like dialect, sociolect, and even idiolect. And because it appears in so many words, the morpheme itself has become a word. So we have the word lect. So you can talk about all kinds of lect in sociolinguistics. So this is a definition of lect in Crystal's dictionary. It's a term used in linguistics to refer to a collection of linguistic features that define a speech community. So lect, a speech community, it could be an idiolect for an individual or a sociolect, belonging to a social class. What are the other words? So because the topic is all types of lect, so what are the other words that have the morpheme lect? Sociolect. A sociolect is a term used by some sociolinguistics to refer to a linguistic variety or lect. You see here we have the word lect, defined on social as opposed to regional grounds. So it could be social class, it could be occupational group. Okay, is there any other sociolinguistic term that contains the morpheme lect? Yes. It is the word lect itself. So lect is a term to refer to the collection of features that make up a variety of languages spoken by a speech community or an individual, but without specifying the basis for which the variety is defined. So basically, people use the word lect in the same sense as the word variety, language variety. You can loosely define it as a language variety. And you could make words with this. You make words like polylectal or panlectal. Polylectal would be covering multiple lects, and panlectal would be covering all the various lects or all the various varieties. There's also words like acrolect, mesolect, and basilect, which are words used in the study of creoles, which is a different discussion. I'm not going to talk about them now, but I just want to mention the words so you know they are related. Isolect. So it's a variety of language differing minimally from another variety. It means minimally isolated, whether it is a sociolect, a dialect, etc. So the whole point of this video is like the morpheme lect is so interesting because it appears in so many different words, first of all. But if you look at it only in the sociolinguistic sense of the word dialect, the morpheme lect is appearing in all these other technical terms. Dialect is intrinsically regional, then you can have sociolects, idiolects,